And now, Houston, Texas, make some noise because the time for talk is over. It's time to unleash the fury.
We got the man, the Natty King.
Yes, sir.
Nicky on the show today, man. How we doing today?
I'm doing well. Just out here in Vegas. Gonna go to work tomorrow.
Man, I mean, so you've done all four? Have you done all four? I know you did the last three, right?
I've done either the last two or the last three.
The last three, I think.
I think you've done the last three for sure. Because I know the last one.
The first two were teams.
Yeah, I forgot we did
like
teams.
the MMA teams, the MMA orgs, right?
Yeah.
No, this will be my third because round one was against Gordon Ryan.
Yeah.
Second one, invitational tournament.
Right.
And then here we go, number 3 for the Yuri Samoas.
And so you come out for number 3, and we change the rules again.
It's okay.
Is this closer to like a rule set that like you prefer, or like do you have a preference?
I mean, I have a preference for the sport of jiu-jitsu to eventually just have one rule set that we can always like rely on as every other sport has. But that's not the game that we're in, and just you got to constantly adapt whether you're doing ADCC or IBJJF or what have you, a different tournament. That's one of the more interesting things about our sport is that you don't have just one rule set. You have to constantly change your game, adapt a little bit here and there to fit the rule set in your favor.
Do you look at one rule set maybe standing out amongst the others that like you have a preference for with like your style, or is it just kind of like you just adapt to whatever, man? You got to do it.
Nowadays I like 15-minute sub only. I feel that's like a very pure form of jiu-jitsu. It gives you enough time to force an opponent to concede and get the submission.
Right.
And if there's no submission in 15 minutes, it's probably not going to happen for a very long time. Like we see like Gordon's preference of needing a 30 or no time limit match.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, this isn't a NBA game. You know what I mean? That's
right. People lose interest very fast.
Yeah.
If it goes 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and they're sitting there and they're like, all right, let's make something happen. So if there's no sub in 15 minutes, what do you points after?
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's no sub in 50 minutes, you go to a judge's decision based upon criteria. But then again, there's no best rule set. You have like we had a situation in when I was fighting on Who's Number One for Flow Grappling, where I had a very dominant performance. I was able to it's submission only, so they value submission attempts. I had like 3 or 4 deep submission attempts, and the judges favor. You have 3 Brazilian judges going against a Brazilian opponent, and they give him the win. It's like, everybody was like, this doesn't make any sense. They post a highlight clip, and it's just highlights of me. And it's like, where is his highlight? You know what I mean?
Right. So he won.
Yeah, I mean, he won.
On paper.
No, yeah. I mean,
he won on paper.
Yeah, so it's quite confusing when things like that happen. But just part of the game. I mean, you got to submit these guys to win. I don't like to blame other people, but.
I've always thought, like, just watching you the last couple – the EBI rule set favored you a little bit. I mean, you were really good.
EBI rule set favors me. Even though I'm considered a wrestler, like I'm really good at EBI overtime. It's just like it's a pure form of jiu-jitsu. Like what I like about EBI is that it gives you a definite winner and a definite loser.
Yeah,
numbers don't lie.
Right.
Either you escape, you get submitted, whatever, what have you. But I think EBI is a great way to go about it. But again, if people are going to complain about any rule set there is. But this new like ADCC style rule set is interesting. They give you the ability to pull guard as long as you're attacking and making connection. You won't get a negative. So that's something new to the game, and should be good.
It gives a definite winner too going into overtime with the points.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, do you do IBJJF?
I've done IBJJF Worlds when I was a blue belt.
Okay.
And I haven't competed since, just because I get paid to compete, so I'm not gonna pay.
That was gonna be a question. Yeah. What do you think about that with the local tournaments and then everybody flocking to IBJJF for these big things and having to pay versus doing pro stuff and getting paid? Like, we've always talked about that and tried to say, why would you go pay for something when we could pay you to get on stage? And
yeah, I think it's good for the lower level competitors or lower level black belts to do like IBJJF Worlds. But like if you're a professional grappler and you're doing this as a career, like I don't see why you would compete in IBJJF Worlds. It devalues you if anything.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the struggles we actually run into with like our sub hunter show.
A lot, yeah.
Is that we'll come up against and the argument you just had is the same thing I tell everybody. So, well, listen, if you want to be this professional grappler or this better known grappler, you want to be on one of our Fight Pass shows versus going to pay someone to get a trinket at IBJJF somewhere. Like,
absolutely,
I don't understand like why. Like, I'm not an IBJF school. I have my schools in Houston, and we are not IBJJF affiliated. We're all pretty much just no-gi. And I didn't gain one student or lose one student because I decided not to hang an IBJJF plaque on my wall. Like, it didn't change anything.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, the American style of jiu-jitsu is like you said, more no-gi.
Right.
So, I mean, it's different. I do like that, and I think IBJJF is paying a little bit for maybe black belt world champs, but it's not nearly as what it should be.
Yeah. So how long have you actually been training now? Because when I first started seeing you come on the scene, you did some shows in Houston actually that I was a photographer at and saw you come out. And then I want to say you were like a blue or a purple belt, and but like right away on the scene, you were just fucking dominant, like right away on the scene, man. So like, how long have you actually been in jiu-jitsu? I know you have a long wrestling career, but how long have you been training?
Yeah, so specifically jiu-jitsu, I'm in year 5 right now.
Jesus.
And I was
fuck.
Jesus.
Yeah, but again, I was a good wrestler, but like I wasn't world class. I was a Division III wrestler. Decent. But I just took to grappling really well. I took the wrestling mentality that I learned, and I applied that towards my training in jiu-jitsu, and that helped me get good fast. And I obviously had a really good training team. Like I was training on the John Danner for the first 3 years, and that helped me elevate my game. And yeah, I mean, I just kind of got lucky, I guess. And also too, like in the heavyweight division, the heavier weight class. As it is in fighting, it's typically the least technical weight class, right? So if I was a wrestler going in at 145, it'd be much harder to have immediate success as opposed to be a heavyweight.
We had seen wrestlers come before you, clearly.
Yep.
But you brought a different, maybe it's intensity, maybe your style. But I remember breaking down some stuff with my students. I'm like, he's fucking taking the back. Mm-hmm. Like he's flying over these other heavyweights. And I don't know, and it wasn't just pure athleticism. I mean, like you were setting things up, and it was really cool to see your transition from that wrestling style to how you applied it into grappling, man. And clearly, I mean, you're one of the best in the world.
Yeah, thank you. I had immediate success with jiu-jitsu. I remember my first couple tournaments, I was just doing local stuff, and I kept beating everybody. I was like, I guess I'll just keep going, why not? And then I had my first loss in ADCC East Coast Trials with 3 months of training, and then I ended up taking third in that tournament. And obviously the tournament has gotten substantially bigger since 5 years ago. But yeah, man, I don't know. I always had a great team, great coaches since day one, and I had a specific goal since the beginning of my jiu-jitsu career. And I think just staying true to my training and my goals really helped me.
What is your goals like now? I mean, because you've done just about everything. Like you've been everywhere, and you're still young and in the sport, but dude, you've accomplished a lot. Like what drives you now?
Yeah, I mean, I want to be. I want to be the absolute best grappler in the world. I want to be pound for pound number one, undeniably the best in the world. And I know what I have to do to get there. In addition, secondly, I would like to win ADCC a few times. But yeah, number one pound for pound in the world. That's all I really care about.
What are you ranked right now? Are you a black belt?
No, I'm a brown belt,
right?
Okay, brown belt. Yeah.
Fucking disgusting.
And you've never trained in the gi?
I mean, I've put it on.
He's like, one.
Just break all the gi guys' hearts right now, right? I mean, there's some diehard gi players out there.
I love it.
I love the gi too, man.
No, I love
I love the gi.
Yeah, fuck that. I hate the pajamas.
I love the
my
gi.
school is we have no gi classes. We have an open mat where if you want to go do some gi, cool, that's great. Mm-hmm. But I have probably of my competitors, 90% are high school or college wrestlers who are trying to be the next Nicky Rod.
I just don't understand I understand the gi and the belt as a selling point.
Sure, right.
If you're how can we make this sport more profitable? All right, we have to buy gi. and then we have to rank you with the belts. Like I get that aspect of it. But in like, if you're trying to say like self-defense and stuff, I would much rather know no-gi, because what happens if this guy doesn't have a jacket on? Like, are you screwed? You're just not going to be able to.
Right. When's the last time you were walking down the street in your pajamas and you got accosted?
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
I mean, so you mentioned teams and training. So you're ranked in brown belt now. Mm-hmm. Like, who are you ranked under? Who's actually promoting you?
Yes, my brown belt is under Craig Jones and Nicky Ryan. Yeah, two black belts under, like, I think under probably John Danaher or something like that. So, yeah, and yeah, those are my guys.
So y'all all started together though, right?
Well, I mean,
Nicky and them.
Yeah. I started training with them. Yeah, pretty much. About around my 3-month mark of training jiu-jitsu, that's when I started training under John Danaher, and I met like guys like Nicky Ryan, Gary Tonin, and
Gordon.
Yep.
So when did that go south? Like,
the
y'all
split?
obviously y'all don't talk anymore.
Yeah, we have a decent rivalry. The split happened after when we were in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So we all moved. We all
during
moved.
COVID time, right?
Yeah. During COVID, we had to get out of the city because like they put out like a.
It's New York.
In New York, yeah.
New York.
Yeah, we're training in New York City at Hensel Gracie, Manhattan, and we go to practice one day during COVID, and we're like waiting in a parking garage like across the street, waiting for John to open the door, right? And as John's walking up, the cops like intercept him and is like, "Listen, you can't train today. Like you guys are gonna kill people." You know what I mean?
Jeez.
So it was like, it got to the extent that they were like, people were snitching on us training, and they're physically trying to prevent us from training jiu-jitsu. And then we were like, all right, we have to get out of the city. This is absurd, So we decided to move to Puerto Rico. We go there, and there were some internal conflicts between inside the team, and we just had to end up splitting, going our separate ways. And honestly, it was for the better. We got our own gym now, B Team Jiu-Jitsu in Austin, Texas. We have a hot social media presence. We're killing on Instagram, killing it on YouTube. We got over 200,000 subscribers, and we did that in like a year and a half or something like that. So we just developing great content. We're selling out merch constantly. And it's going great, man. We're focused not only on the business side, but on also producing phenomenal athletes.
Dude, you guys' merch is awesome. So I've sent 3 students to your place, like to go train while they're out there. And I'm always like, hey, grab me, see if you can find me one of those like Mexican ground karate shirts, or Natty King. Can you grab me one of those? And of course, I was like, dude, they're fucking sold out.
Yep.
Like, all right, that's awesome, dude. Like, you guys have really created this place. People want to go. I get asked all the time, like, hey, do you have a connection to get me into B Team? I'm like, fuck, dude, yeah, that's amazing. Like,
we became somewhat of a vacation destination.
Yeah.
Like, at any given time throughout the week, we'll have multiple guys from different countries just to come visit and train with us for a couple of weeks and go home. And it's great. We have a great environment. We work hard, but we know how to play hard as well.
Did you know then when you guys set up in Austin that John and those guys were also going to set up in Austin?
Yeah, for sure. They're training at Roca. They're like borrowing somebody's gym that they've been using for 2 years or some change.
Yeah.
I guess they're gonna try to open up a facility. I don't really know why it hasn't happened yet. But yeah, I mean, they do their own thing on separate side of town, and we keep killing on our side.
So
they're
are you guys,
Hinzo, right?
Yeah. So are you guys like amicable at all, or is it just like you're a piece of shit and you're a piece of shit and we just ignore each other?
Well, I think it's just I focus on my team. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't. I'm not the kind of guy that talks to people unless I see them. I'm not going to be there texting and whatnot. I'm not a very I don't like keeping contact with people. So the guys that I see every day, that's who I talk to. But I mean, I don't care about anybody in the sport. I just want to beat them all and be the best. That's
Would you say you're Gordon's biggest competition?
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody.
100%, right?
I mean, well, thank you for blowing up my TikTok last year. So I've never been on TikTok. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to record it at the Invitational. Mm-hmm. And the video that's going crazy with the sound of you popping his foot.
Oh yeah,
that's me on the side recording.
Very nice.
And I'm like, from me to you, where you guys are at, it goes off. And I remember like going, I gotta post this. I need a TikTok.
Yeah.
I gotta get up on there. That had to be a pretty cool feeling in its own. Like in that moment where I kind of felt like that changed the perception of you versus Gordon.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I went from months previous to that losing via leg lock in ADCC, and a couple months later, I'm in a similar leg entanglement, and I end up winning the situation, breaking his foot in the competition. So that just shows what I'm doing at B team is correct. And I'm continuing to progress at a rapid rate. And I don't think Gordon really wants a match with me anytime soon because of situations like that. And in addition, you also saw his fall off. Like after that match, he practically retired. He went like 6 months or maybe a year without competing. Pulled out multiple competitions. Blaming it on different stuff. We saw him lose like 40 pounds of muscle soon after that match.
What do you think that was about?
Well, I think
was he really sick?
Well, no, you just get. I think guys that abuse steroids, they have to like get off of steroids and to like get healthy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then when you get back on, you have all these like health issues. So you always have something to blame it on. But yeah, you don't like. If I stopped lifting for 2-4 months, I wouldn't lose 40 pounds of muscle. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like as a natural athlete, you keep the muscle, but obviously as a like a steroid abuser, you're gonna have your ups and downs.
What would you say the most people nowadays are on juicing?
That? In the jiu-jitsu? Yeah. I would say a hefty majority. And I realized that like maybe 6 months into jiu-jitsu, once I started getting like pretty world-class competition, I was like, oh, like a lot of these guys are abusing steroids. Because in wrestling, like in college, it gets like not really like we get drug tested in college and stuff, and I don't know, I just never even thought about it. Even when I was like lifting in the gym, I would see these guys like they go like do a bodybuilding competition, and like a few months later they'd like lose like all this weight and muscle mass. I'm like, why? It's not attractive to me. You know what I mean? I think you should just like. I think it's not good for the younger generation either. Like there's a lot of kids that do jiu-jitsu, and because of a guy like Gordon, they think they have to do steroids to be successful. And it's like, bro, you can gain size, you can lift consistently, lift like a bodybuilder. You can
look at me.
You can eat right. Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah.
That's all natural. Hey, listen, I'm 42 years old.
Listen, I don't mean any disrespect. You guys are on paper the same thing. Yeah. You're humans. Yeah. No.
Look at his hands. They're monster hands. Those are some big.
Maybe I'm in research wrong. You were gonna be a model at one point.
Yeah, I was a fitness model for many years.
Yeah.
From like 19 years old to I don't know till now. I guess I still get paid to for modeling shoots. So.
And you, no. Never, not a model.
Yeah.
Not a. Hey, this piece of shit Eric is brought to you by Howlerhead Whiskey. That's how I crept my Howlerhead in there.
Hey, at least we got hair.
Hey.
Listen.
That's from steroid abuse. Yeah, he lost all his hair because of the steroids.
Yeah, no one's ever said you was on steroids.
Look at him.
So, like, it's not.
But I mean, obviously, you're very proud that you're an all natural athlete, and you don't drink. So
yeah, I'm not interested.
And drinking.
Have you ever? Like,
yeah. I've drank before, but it's not something I do consistently. My little brother though, has never touched any substance.
And evidently, he said he doesn't come either. So
he doesn't.
That's a temple that doesn't come.
I tell him, yo, you gotta bust some nuts, my guy. He's like,
dude,
maybe I'll get a girlfriend or something like that. But, I don't
know. Y'all show is killing us, man. I was looking
awesome.
the other day and. I forgot what it was. A clip about $1 million to suck a dick.
Yeah.
Nope. No. Not happening, right?
No.
And then they moved to $1 billion, and it's like I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna be kind of. It's a lot of money, but
yeah. I mean, can I wear a mask? If you do it right,
if you wear,
I mean, like the.
I don't know what the parameters are for the dick sucking.
So they don't know who you are. They gotta not know who you are.
It's just a glory hole, and you're just on the other side.
$1 billion.
You'll remember that taste forever.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm out, man.
Yeah,
sorry.
This went not the way.
So like y'all's podcast, y'all do weekly podcast?
Yeah, weekly podcast. If we have some traveling to do, we'll try to get a couple on in a week, so we have them in the bank.
So it's you and Damien, and is it kind of just whoever gets on, like Ethan?
Well,
and
the main guys is me, Damien, Ethan, and then we have a guest, like usually my brother or one of the teammates or something like that. We try to get like some business owners, but people just like the jiu-jitsu talk, So I don't know. Eventually, we'll get some comedians on. I got some pretty funny friends like that are pretty well known that I'll get on the podcast eventually. Yeah,
but you guys are there, and especially now with like Joe's place,
Joe Rogan,
shit, the Comedy Mothership out there, and like you guys have just Austin's fucking off crazy right now.
Yeah, Austin's amazing, man.
I like Austin a lot. Honestly, it's great food. The people are nice. Traffic's getting a little weird here and there, but it's cool. It's a good deal.
Where do you see I know, so did Damien open a B team in Jersey?
Yes, sir. Yep, B Team New Jersey. He's been at it for a while.
And then are you guys are you going to have affiliates? Or are you going to expand the brand? Or?
We'll eventually have affiliates, but I think we want to create a system where we can like develop black belts, and then if they don't want to be competitors, we can help them open their own gym. Maybe we can be profitable enough to develop build their building out, mat them up and something like that, and we keep a percentage, but we also allow them to be part owners as well, so that they don't have to this big lump sum of money and whatnot. Yeah, so I think there's a way to where instead of going to college, you can train with us for however many years, get your black belt, and because we know you, we trust you, and you're a reliable person, we can help you open a gym and be successful.
Fucking hard room to get a black belt in, man.
Yep.
That's crazy. You guys videos y'all put out, I don't know how many foot sweeps I've seen that I look for the foot sweep of the week. I'm like who's getting clowned this week?
Foot sweep is such an interesting. They always get really good views because it's it seems so effortless. It's more of a timing thing, to be good technical as well, but it seems so effortless when it's done. I think that's why people draw.
Kind of effortless makes me think of your training videos you just put out with your arm bar. You can't be arm barred basically.
Oh yeah.
Dude, first of all, the Big Dan arm bar at last year's Invitational. I'm really not sure how the fuck you got out of that. Clearly, you put an instructional.
Put your hands on the mic, Rich.
Unless you and a wiener.
Come on,
okay,
man.
so
do it.
When's the last time you were submitted in competition?
I mean, Gordon in ADCC finals, and then
you can count on your hand probably how many.
And then only twice. And then
dude,
2 weeks after ADCC, my first ADCC in 2019, I went against I was heel hooked by Connie Duarte. So twice. And again, I was a blue belt or purple belt back then, and
both leg locks. Heel hooks.
Yep,
but even then, you
were
were going against world class guys. You weren't going against a typical gym black belt. You're going against world class black belts.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that I'm better than everybody right now, and little by little, I will prove that, and you guys will enjoy the show.
We see guys like Damien, Cody Steele making that transition to MMA. Do you have any interest?
I mean, hypothetically, if I had an enemy in the world of jiu-jitsu that wanted to fight me at a certain weight class, regardless if they were abusing steroids or not, I would hop in the cage and fight them, no problem. Or I had George Masvidal's bare knuckle MMA offering me a pretty good check to fight. It have to be the right opponent and a bit more money. I'm getting offers closer to $1 million to hop in the cage. So. Might happen in the future.
But is that worth it for this? Because bare knuckle.
I'm only going to fight if I'm going to beat the shit out of the guy. If they're like, oh yeah, you're going to fight John Jones, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm probably fine.
I feel though, if you stepped into the UFC, obviously the first fights are not going to be $1 million, but I think they would take care of you to the point where they could build you something like a Bo Nickel, right? They took care. I think they took care of Bo coming
for sure.
in.
But I think the difference.
But
maybe I'm wrong. Bo Nickel wasn't making as much as you're making now in grappling.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
it's different.
We're closing in on 6 figures per match, so it's why it would have to be closer to 7 figures for me to hop in the cage. And brain, I like my brain the way it is. It's great. It's perfect. It works awesome. So and the longevity of jiu-jitsu, you can do this for a while, and there's many different ways to make money in jiu-jitsu. I'm selling my jerky right now, Carne Jerky, CARNEJERKY.com.
Yeah,
check it out. But I'm the jerky man nowadays, and we have a lot of different ways, a lot of different streams of revenue, and because of jiu-jitsu, I have a crowd to help build that.
Just because we're talking about your meat, we're going to make sure that people go to our OnlyFans. So onlyfans.com/FuryFight and go check out behind the scenes footage. Cool. And we'll talk about your meat more on our OnlyFans as well. So you're spreading off in different things. You've got your beef jerky now. What do you see after after, like, do you want to get more into coaching after competing, or?
Yeah, I would like to be known as the best mixed martial arts, or I'm sorry, the best jiu-jitsu coach in the world of MMA. I know that my style is absolute best for any fighter that wants to be a great grappler as well. You know, I have a top dominant style. I know how to wear people out. And you know, I understand the grappling of mixed martial arts pretty well, and you know, that's something I'll focus on in the future. But for now, I'm hyper focused on my specific goals in the world of jiu-jitsu. But in the future, for sure, I'll get into some coaching. I've also had pretty good offers to corner guys and work on them with them in their camps, but the timing's just been a little off. But eventually,
You know, you've made your instructionals have been great. You had the body lock instructional, and then I forget the name of it. We can't get armbarred instructional.
yeah, don't
Get
armbarred.
and so we use those types of instructionals like at our facility to show these young kids. Because if we show them anything that has like you in it, it might as well be the Bible. Like they're just like they're like, oh, he did that, yeah, I'm gonna fucking do that. Okay, great.
I like to do instructionals about moves that I do in competition. So typically you'll see me do something in competition, and then, you know, I'll release an instructional soon after. Because like I feel like a lot of guys just like show the same thing over and over, or like, you know, they show stuff that they've never done against a world class grappler. It's like you really only want to teach people things that are going to work against the best opponents.
We've been able to get some of your guys from the gym, Reese, and who's the other guys we had out for Submission Hunter Pro?
On the grappling card?
No, not Reese. We had some of the B team guys on our Sub Hunter Pro cards, and you've got these like a ton of young.
Reese
grapplers.
Lefevre?
You know, who do you?
Is Reese y'all's guy?
New wave guy.
New wave guy.
New wave guy.
Who do you look at as being out of your gym, like some of these next Nickies?
Yeah, we have a young kid, Nick Mataya, a very tough wrestler turned jiu-jitsu practitioner, and you know, he did pretty well at ADCC trials. He just recently went against he grappled against like a Bellator fighter, and he's able to Kimura him on Who's Number One like a couple weeks ago, and he's really good. We also have a younger guy, Roman. Roman's like a lighter guy, maybe 145 or something like that, and yeah, we got a bunch of hidden gems in there, and we're getting guys to compete more and just kind of compete freely. And you know, we don't put a lot of pressure on them. You know, we just want them to go out there, have fun, and enjoy the process. And you know, we feel as if like the more fun you have out there, the less you care, kind of the better you're gonna go out there and compete. So we let them get after it.
Declan Moody was the name I was trying to remember.
Yeah. Declan won the
Declan's
ADCC trials in Singapore recently, and you know, he'd be in the ADCC.
Dude, he was
Worlds.
so easy to work with. Too.
Who did he go against? Hunter? Was it Hunter?
He was in the tournament. He had Declan went against.
Oh, he had Dan.
He
in the
won the
finals.
first round against that other gigantic black belt from GFT, and then
Pedro.
Yeah. So he was awesome to work with, which brought me to you today. Dude, thank you for not being an asshole.
Oh, my pleasure.
Like seriously, you know, our job. A lot of people don't know. Like we're part of the UFC PI team, so we're helping put together everything, organizing everything, because we've done so many sub hunters. And like something as simple as, hey man, don't drive your fucking car. The UFC wants you to get in the shuttle. Mm-hmm. It took you 1 second to go, okay, here's my keys to your brother.
Yeah,
you know how many conversations we had that did not go that fucking way?
I could imagine.
And half of them, no offense, they're not on your level. Like they're not where you are at, done what you've done, and you were just like, yeah, I'll get in the fucking van. And then we had to move him again. He was like, all right, get in the other fucking van. Whatever, man. You know, thank you for not being a fucking asshole.
All good, man.
I just want to get that off my chest. Okay, thank you. You know, so you are one of the few people. I guess it's a bigger scene now of people who can actually make money in jiu-jitsu. So like when you're talking to these young kids, what do you advise to them? Like, do you tell them to go off and pursue college, or do you tell them like just stay on the mats and earn a degree here?
I think you'll always regret not trying what you really want to do, not fully committing to it. So if jiu-jitsu is something you truly love, like if you think about it every day, like that's probably what you should be doing, right? Whether you find yourself becoming uber successful as a professional grappler, or even as or if not, you can find success as an instructor, own your own gym one day. I mean, you know, for sure you can go to college, you can get a great job, and you know, have to be a lot of money in debt. or you can pay your monthly dues at a jiu-jitsu academy, own your own gym one day, and as long as you know proper techniques and you have the right affiliates, you can be uber successful doing that. And I think if you're going to be a competitor or even a gym owner, social media is crucial, right? Like I was posting before I even started jiu-jitsu, I had like something like 30,000 followers on Instagram, just because early on I saw the value in it of posting consistently, and I was like, I'm beautiful. I might as well make sure people know I'm beautiful.
So you wrestled in college?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you go to school?
Ferrum College, a little small Division III school in Virginia. And I found out how tough I was in college. Like obviously wrestling like in high school is tough, but there's two school trains of thought in the world of wrestling. Either you have a coach that's like, oh, we're gonna focus on being technically better and just focus on like movements, like techniques, or you're gonna get a coach that's like, all right, we're just gonna be tougher than everybody. My coach just wanted us to be tougher, so we did a lot of things that were probably unnecessary, but it gave us the ability to push through and persevere through adversity, and I attribute some of my success towards that for sure.
So did you leave wrestling to pursue jiu-jitsu, or like how was that transition?
So I did pretty well in my freshman year of college. Like I graduated high school early, like at 17. So by the time I was a freshman, I was 18 years old, going against guys that are like at 197, guys are like 20 years old, 21 years old. So men against a late teenager, and I finished college like ranked like maybe 10th or 12th in the country at 197 for Division III, and I had pretty good success. I won like maybe 35 matches and 3 or 4 losses, and I was like, all right, I wanted to move up like in divisions, go D1 or D2. But in the summer after my freshman year, I got signed as a model to Wilhelmina Models in New York City. I was making a couple bucks, like maybe like $1,500 per shoot, with like sports and fitness stuff, and I was like, all right, like I'm making money without a job. I should pursue this a little bit, see where it goes. So I dropped out of college, chasing the modeling thing a little bit, posting on social media, and I had a few extra jobs. Like I was working at Home Depot, and I was doing some bouncing. And while I was bouncing, I was introduced to some bouncers that were doing jiu-jitsu, and they convinced me to go train, and that was it, man. I was hooked immediately.
You fell in love. What were you majoring in college?
Like sports and medicine or whatever. But I was just
vaginas. It was just all vaginas.
Yeah, I wasn't really going to class much. I was doing like I was going like gym class and like swim class and shit. Like I wasn't there to go to class.
You had
wrestle.
You had a scholarship, obviously.
I had an academic scholarship, but I had
smart dude.
But I graduated with like a fucking like 1.9. They had to that do some work on the,
How did that?
Yeah, they had to do some work on the.
So the counselors and stuff liked how he looked. Oh, let's fix this guy's grades.
Yeah,
like this sexy bastard's gonna get.
He's getting a 4.0.
He's getting a 4.0.
This dude's got a 4.0.
Yeah, so if they want you bad enough, they'll make it work.
So how many days a week are you training? Like not just being at the gym. Like how many days are you training for yourself?
Yeah, just once a day. Once a day jiu-jitsu, once a day extracurricular work, like whether that be cardio or bodybuilding type workouts or even CrossFit stuff. But yeah, just one jiu-jitsu, one lift a day, and that's about it.
So much like myself, you have a phenomenal body from lifting. Do you? What the fuck was that? What are you looking over here for? Yeah. So just you work out. Do you give any rest days? Like,
I don't really need rest days. It's really because I'm consistent with my schedule, with my sleep. Like I know how to taper off. Like maybe 3 or 4 days a week when I'm doing jiu-jitsu, I go for the kill, and then a few other days it's not as intense. But yeah, I'm very consistent with my schedule, with my nutrition, with my sleep. So, and I think sleep is, especially if you're a natural athlete, sleep is the steroid. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times I'm laying in bed for 10 hours to get a good 8 hours of sleep. I try to cut off the blue light or any lights a few hours before bed, like at least 90 minutes before bed. I'm not looking at the phone or the TV.
Sure.
That helps me hit that REM sleep pretty quick. And then the nutrition. I make sure I get substantial protein and carbs throughout the day. And I'm just very consistent. If I don't train, it's like I'm almost wasting a day.
How many calories you eat in a day? Like 5,000?
Honestly, it used to be a lot more. I don't know if did you guys see the more plates, more dates? Right. So we found out that I have high testosterone, but also high cholesterol. So I attribute the high cholesterol towards my bodybuilding days. So I lifted and ate as a bodybuilder for like 7 or 8 years. And I was so dedicated. Like I thought that if I skipped a meal, if I didn't eat my protein in a day, that I thought I was going to shrink. Because I swear, I 100% thought that, because I'd see these guys like after they did like a bodybuilding show, they'd be like 40 pounds less. Like obviously they're on steroids, but back then I was just like, fuck, this happens to everybody. Like I don't want to do that. I worked too hard to have this body. And once I learned that doesn't happen, you don't just lose all your muscle overnight. I was able to after that video drop on More Plates More Days, I was like, all right, maybe I'll tone back the meat and stuff. I was eating like 2 to 3, sometimes 4 pounds of like steak and ground beef like every day for 7 or 8 years. Pretty much no vegetables.
That shit's not cheap either, man. No, that's an expensive.
No. I was working to eat, Yeah, for sure. But that was my diet for 7 or 8 years. So I definitely understand why I had high cholesterol. But nowadays it's much more subtle. I eat like 2 meals a day. Chicken and rice, veggies, or if I do steak, I make sure I have some kind of fiber, some kind of vegetable with it as well.
What about recovery? Like, do you do anything specific for recovery? Just sleep. No ice baths or anything, or saunas.
I'll do a sauna, ice bath occasionally, once in a blue moon. I had some companies hit me up to get a sauna, ice bath. I just never followed through with it. But yeah, I think sleep is number one, man. Absolutely number one.
So when you're not choking everybody else out and foot sweeping and talking about dicks on the show, it was on the show. Mm-hmm. What do you do in Austin, like for yourself, like to relax or hang out, man?
Yeah, I mean, I have. I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie. Like my hobbies, I like riding mountain bikes, or I'll go hit the motocross track with dirt bikes and stuff. But fuck it, I just got to mitigate the safety risk.
Yeah, when you say dirt bike, that's my next question.
Yeah, right, where I was riding with my brother pretty consistently, like we were mountain biking, and everything was good. And then we come across a jump, and he's like, "You gonna hit it?" I was like, "Nah, dude. Like I'm not hitting that. Like I'm staying safe." He was like, "I'm hitting it." And then we started jumping right after that, and a few weeks later he breaks a collarbone. I was like, "Fuck, maybe we shouldn't be doing this." You know what I mean? So, but that's just my style. When I do how I do one thing is how I do everything. You know what I mean? I get after it. But I think I'll just stay on the ground. I avoid the jumping stuff, and I'll be pretty safe.
Do you guys get to do much as like a team? Because y'all seem super super close. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean we'll do stuff like we'll play like spike ball nowadays. That's what's in. We'll play spike ball either in the gym, or we'll go to like a park or something. It's relatively safe. But
I can see where you guys would make that not fucking safe.
What spike ball?
It's like a table like this size, and net, hit the ball and the net goes around.
It's like volleyball, but like on the floor, kind of. Yeah. Pretty. I think it's pretty safe. But yeah, we do things like that. We'll go out to eat together and stuff like that. Build some team chemistry. But yeah, we're pretty close. We have a really good vibe in the gym, and we know how to work hard and put it all together.
How old are you now?
I'm 27.
You got any plans for a family or anything?
Yeah. I just bought a house, so probably have kids in the near future.
For all the ladies or gay guys out there, you got a girlfriend?
Yeah, I'm taken. Yeah.
Why'd you look at me when you say gay guys? What the fuck?
Rich was asking. I was asking for Rich.
It's the worst.
He's taken. Hey, that's an honest man. Yeah. That's an honest man.
All right. Well, congratulations on being taken.
Oh, thanks.
And dude, it's been really cool. It's weird. Usually when we have a guest who's like at your level where you're at now, I would usually be like, "Hey man, it's been great to see you grow over the years." No, when I saw you, you were already like a few months on the scene. You're like, he's fucking beating everybody.
Right.
And I remember thinking it was almost like a joke. It was like, hey, dude, there's this blue belt who's going against black belts and just mauling them. And then years later, I saw this video, maybe it's a meme, of some random poor guy going against you at a regional And
Body slam, yeah.
I've never felt worse for somebody in my life. Dude.
That was my first that was one of my first tournaments. Yeah, I must have been like 6 weeks or something into jiu-jitsu. And yeah, I mean, this guy just like stood up with me and I just body slammed him and I think I submitted him like on bar or something like that. But yeah, I mean, for the first 2 years or so, I just had really good anti-jiu-jitsu. I could negate people's offense and then like kind of find the back. But nowadays I have really good means of attacking. I can attack in various ways, and I'm very confident in my ability to submit the highest level opponents.
So what would you tell? It's changed over the years. Like when we started in jiu-jitsu, when I started in jiu-jitsu, it was you had to you got to know these techniques and you got to do this and it's got to be specific and you got to do 1,000 fucking drills and do this a million times. What would you tell a new grappler to focus on?
I would say, man, try harder. Like a lot of times, people are like, oh, this guy's a spaz. Like let's tone it down a notch. I'm like, bro, if you make jiu-jitsu a fight to somebody that's used to doing jiu-jitsu, they're like, they can't control you. It's hard for them to match the intensity or what have you. I mean, I think everybody has their own pace, and if you can keep pushing your pace to be faster and more aggressive, and also while thinking, creating these reactions that are so you're once you get deep into the scrambles, you don't have to think, you just create these perfect reactions. I think it's valuable, and I think it's not good to. You have a young kid that's trying hard, and you're like, oh, stop spazzing. I think, bro, just let him spaz. Give him quality technique, let him drill it a few times, but let him get after it. If you don't feel comfortable, like he's trying too hard, that's on you, bro. You got to pick it up. So we advocate the guy that brings a lot of effort in the world in B team.
Do you guys have a kids program there?
No, but I think eventually we will. We have we just started a white belt program that's doing pretty well. So I think eventually we'll bring our own kids.
We're gonna have to travel up there and let you get choked out by everybody.
Bitch, why me?
Because I'm the gay dude evidently. So you're gonna
They'll like you better. They'll like you better.
That's fine. I've tapped a lot. I don't care. It's all right.
So you eat clean, obviously, the majority of the week during.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have cheat days.
I mean, I'll have I have cheat meals, I have a bowl of cereal or a pancake here and there, but I try to eat pretty clean, pretty healthy. I like a
pancake here.
One pancake.
Fatter
so life. Never I'm gonna go you see if you follow The Rock on IG, he has Sundays where he just splurges with 10 biscuits and gravy, a whole large pizza, a bottle of tequila.
I would definitely have days like that, but it's maybe once or twice a month.
Okay.
Not like every week, but yeah, I eat pretty clean. I think your gut craves what you put in. So if you're consistently eating ground turkey, white rice, a couple of veggies, you're gonna want that. Your body's like, why aren't we eating this?
Yeah.
When you do that splurge, do you wake up the next day feeling like shit? Your body can sense it, right?
I mean, maybe I have my body metabolize it. I'll have some pretty hot shits, but if I eat a lot
the same ones you have.
Yeah.
Listen, you mean
you just had them earlier
You guys
today.
don't paint the bowl every day and just walk away. It's not what we do.
It's unhealthy.
Right?
Yeah, but if I eat a lot of pizza or something, I'll just be I'll be pretty energized. I think.
Yeah, that shit makes you feel damn.
Yeah, because I think most of your muscle is water. So you eat a lot of carbs, eat a whole pie, you're just gonna be filled up with water, and it's better for training, to be honest, if you're pretty full and whatnot.
So you're out here in Vegas. I know you're here for work, but do you get any time to go? Is there some place you want to go eat out here or do out here? Or?
I mean, I've been eating pretty good. Last night we had some Korean barbecue at a great spot.
Nice.
We went to SDK Steakhouse 2 days ago. That was good as well. So yeah, I mean, I eat good. I like simple meals, but we get after it.
Nice, man. Nice. Well, I think, man, is there anybody you want to mention or people you want to?
I got a question.
Thank you? Oh, you have a fucking question.
I got one
Jeez,
question.
He's got one question.
Who's number one or Fight Pass Invitational? What's your preference?
I mean, Fight Pass Invitational is definitely the preference. It's a bigger audience.
It's a bigger paycheck.
They pay great.
There you go. There you go. All right, I just wanted to hear it.
Well,
I wanted to hear it.
That's a great clip for us to put out on the air. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been awesome to work with you.
Yeah.
Ever since the first time we had Damon on a Fury show, I think
You were there.
him out
I
in
think you went and watched Damien
in San
fight.
Antonio. And I remember grabbing you out to the side. I'm like, hey, I need you to record something real quick. And you're like, fuck, all right, cool. And you did it. And you've been one of the most approachable guys,
Right.
Who have had a lot of success. And that's kind of rare in this industry. And we're very lucky in that we get to work with UFC fighters and the top executives and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of people are unapproachable, and you've been amazing to work with, man. Thank you so much.
You've been awesome, my pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
Very cool, man. Dude, that's it, man. Where can guys learn more about B Team?
Yeah, you guys can check out my personal Instagram at NickyRod247. Subscribe to the B Team YouTube channel at B Team JJ on YouTube. We have a sub-meta at B Team, and it's pretty much it's another variation of YouTube. We do like technique breakdowns. So you can subscribe to that for consistent content. We do like roll breakdowns as well, where we put out a 10-minute roll and we just like voice over it, telling you exactly what's going on, what we're thinking, how we're getting it done. And buy our merch and enjoy the show.
Awesome. Hey guys, this has been another episode of the Fury Unleashed podcast.
Do the Wayne.
Do the Wayne?
Do the
Wait,
Wayne.
I got to do the sponsor roll real quick.
Okay,
too,
go
man.
ahead.
Make sure you check out our amazing sponsor, Space City Collective, Sheath Underwear, Kimura Tattoo Company, Howlerhead Whiskey, Live Oak Vodka, OnlyFans, Private
You got a
Label
shoe
Bags.
sponsor?
Shoe sponsor?
Do you like tennis shoes? He's wearing flip-flops around.
I'm a flip-flop guy, but I take
Retro ones, Jordans.
You know,
hook me up.
well, let's introduce actually the guy on the card tomorrow night, Christian Guzman.
Oh, yeah?
Shout out to Christian.
I'm introduce you. You're gonna get
introduce him
shoes.
tomorrow night.
Sounds good.
Hey guys, thank you for tuning in today. The time for talk is over.
This has been.
Fury Unleashed. Fucking
Bam.
Wayne needs to do that. I hate doing that. All right.
All right.
And now, Houston, Texas, make some noise because the time for talk is over. It's time to unleash the Fury.